Hey Capricorn, your July tarot reading is ready. I am Eleanor and welcome to Pink Pearl Tarot. Your main theme for July is the blue Lauretiomyces mushroom. It says discovery and the unknown. And then your relationship affirmator is maturity. I make peace with the tough relationships of my past. I probably would have skipped the pain they came with, but I'm grateful for the lessons they brought me. Because of those tough relationships, I can look back at the mosaic of my life and see the value in even the most broken pieces. So Capricorn, what this means for July is that it's all about being prepared to face the unknown with the spirit of receiving whatever lessons or gifts that it might bring, along with whatever discomfort you might experience there, which might sound a bit scary, but I think the point to a degree is that if you knew ahead of time all of the challenges and discomforts, you could possibly be too afraid to move forward and then missing out on a huge gift. So a helpful way to encourage yourself forward might be to look back at some of the past mistakes or situations that didn't work out. But now that it's over and you've learned from it, you won't make the same mistake again. Would you actually change it? Would you go back to the less experienced version of yourself? Now, that's not meant to be a leading question. Maybe you would wish it away, and that's okay. But for those of you who wouldn't, it's a call to keep going and learning, even though the path is not fully lit to the end. It's a call to surrender expectations and open your heart and mind. It's like there's just some things that cannot be explained. They can only be experienced to be understood. And also that everything right now, or at all times, is a stepping stone. So for something that you might be ready to discover this month, you have the Empress. So I'm not just going to say your creative power here, because that doesn't even come close. It's the actual depth and breadth of it, the infinite nature of it. I think people hear creativity and they might think artistic or crafty, but this is more talking about your ability to create your life, to continuously give birth to new versions of yourself, to take care of what you love in this life, to nurture your own self-love, the genius of your intuition, your profound capacity for compassion, the strength of your connection with nature and the divine, and how much the universe is constantly providing every moment once you expand your definition of abundance beyond the physical. So I'd say that's a pretty good gift and treasure. So for where you will see the most change, you have the Apprentice of Water. So this reminds me of when I was visiting my sister. She used to live near the beach, and I was on my morning walk through her neighborhood. I rounded a corner and suddenly the ocean just appeared before me, expansive and breathtaking. And I stopped in my tracks at that feeling of being put in my place in terms of scale. So our lives, they do get to be feeling very big in our minds. And the change this is referring to is that change of perspective as it relates to your scale of experience. Something massive could be opening up for you. And it's that realizing how much you still don't know, how much there is you can never comprehend in comparison to what you could understand even in multiple lifetimes. It's hard to describe concretely or to give examples of what this could look like, but it's a change in the feeling of the size of your life as something even bigger and awe-inspiring is revealed to you. So for what will be your biggest obstacle, you have the Seven of Wands. So this is going to sound weird, but it's a sense of being separate that motivates you to stay above or to try to stay on top in some way. It's that me versus you perspective that could be limiting this month. And that's that kind of egoic perspective that does make our lives feel smaller and compartmentalized, or that cuts us off from the life-giving abundance of the universe because of words like mine and yours. So to tap into that Empress energy means surrendering to a more unified perspective and seeing the universe as us and ours, not something that you are separate from. So for the best thing about the month, you have the Guide of Air. So this is indicating an increase in your ability to think expansively and a time when your mind might be extra sharp, quick, and agile. It's like this uncanny ability to see beyond all pretense what is true around you. And you could possibly have some really keen insights, but it's like they're not so much intuitive as they are cognitive. Like it'll actually be the result of critical thinking and putting two and two together versus gut feelings. Not to knock the gut feelings, but you won't have that confusion as to whether or not to trust it because you will have done the work mentally. It feels like the same energy anytime you would get an eagle card from an animal oracle deck per se. Like, for example, that ability to see through the redundant and irrelevant. So this is going to serve you so well with that sort of energy of moving into the unknown as your theme, because it's like being able to see in the dark. It's kind of like a superpower. So for your influence and impact on others, you have the Apprentice of Earth. So this is another card where you are this little person faced with something very large, which is both daunting and at the same time it contains so much possibility. So there is potential for you to be a little bit intimidating to others right now. Some people might feel as though you can see right through them. And I think for the most part, you're seeing the good, the treasure in those that are coming into your orbit. And they could be feeling truly seen for the first time, which could make you seem like sort of an angel to them because no one else has ever looked beyond the surface. And they also might see that getting to know you is also an adventure, and then show interest in putting in the time and effort to grow a connection with you. So for what opportunities you should be looking for, you have the Chariot. So this is talking about movement forward, advancement, and how you're traveling through life. So this could talk about like travel opportunities literally, or it could be professional advancement, relationship advancement. It's harnessing existing momentum that carries you forward. So it's like when you see the little traveling walkway at the airport, it's like hopping on there. So for where you will find the most support, you have the Eight of Swords. So the stories and narratives that we tell ourselves to explain our experience can either support or sabotage us. I mean, I'm sure there's other functions and gray areas there, but for the sake of this reading, let's hold that dichotomy. So this is saying that you have the power to create stories or rewrite narratives around your experience that can provide more support for you right now. You have all of the power of your thoughts to tell supportive stories. And everything we experience through the senses is processed through the mind and interpreted. So it's a great time to take control of that process and move the needle from more sabotaging narratives to more supportive ones. For your self-care directive, you have the Two of Wands. This is talking about dopamine and how it's actually more associated with the anticipation of reward than the reward itself. So this is about giving yourself something to look forward to. Give yourself small, achievable goals. Give yourself challenges. I hate to say it this way, but it's like dangling little carrots in front of yourself to entice you into this unknown space of discovery. I mean, it makes sense, right? Why would you move into the unknown without a potential benefit or treasure to be unearthed? So start where you are, because this whole overall energy is about not knowing the whole route ahead of time. It's like a path of stepping stones, like I said, and you already have a card of movement for the opportunities to take advantage of. So you can break down this going with the flow energy into bite-sized pieces without feeling like you're surrendering to a whole river taking you out to sea. It's focusing on each choice you have in front of you as though it were the only one, and turning your compass, like going to your inner compass to get a feel for where the cosmic wind is already blowing. So don't think about the choice after that yet. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. Much love, Capricorn, and I'll talk to you next month. Thank you.